Hey, everybody, and we're back. We're back. It's been a couple weeks, but we are back. Welcome to another edition of the Squared Slice. It's been a quiet couple weeks, hasn't it? Since we were
Yeah,
last.
no, what is absolutely nothing's happened in the world of WWE.
Oh,
Nothing
another
important.
SummerSlam's come and gone. Everything's business as usual. No, of course we're kidding. Of course. How could we not know Vince McMahon, the guy who's responsible basically for us being fans and for the world of professional wrestling as we know it, got into hot water. This is a nice, mild way to put it, and had to resign. And basically, from that, we got basically what a lot of wrestling fans have been hoping would have happened earlier, but just glad it's finally happening. Triple H taking over creative.
Yeah, it's interesting, right? Like, I know you and I had this discussion, and anybody watching this show is going to know, but like, let's just bring up Vince for 1 second.
Yeah.
Were we ever expecting the day that this really happens?
Nope.
I mean, and he's alive.
Yeah,
Let's
I was
remember that. He
expecting
didn't
him to
die.
die in his seat in Gorilla.
I know. It's kind of crazy.
Yeah.
It's it's almost still kind of unbelievable.
It's very weird.
Like
Very weird.
I was sending it to friends of mine who like, are quasi wrestling fans, you know, and I was just like, this is insane. Like this is
Yeah.
insane.
Like
Why is nobody
I've never known the wrestling world without Vince McMahon in it.
1985
I wasn't
is when
born yet.
people and it was neither was I. Well, that's
Yeah.
why it's insane. That's it's crazy.
He goes back all the way to the 70s with the WWF. Like that's
Right.
how far back Vince McMahon's reach goes.
Exactly. And it's absolutely I just can't get over. I just can't get over the insanity of it. Like we
Right.
went from Vince is in trouble to
Mhm.
Vince is showing up on TV every week
Yep.
to make fun of his troubles because he's Vince and that's what billionaires do because
Billionaire's gonna billionaire.
whatever. To Vince back in trouble. To maybe maybe we'll just push him off to the side a little bit
Yeah.
and
To let's just
get
take him
through
up
it.
behind the shed and
Yeah. And then it turned into Vince retired, Triple H is in charge,
yeah.
Stephanie's back, John Laurinaitis is fired.
Laurinaitis is fucked.
John Laurinaitis is
Literally.
fucked.
He's probably got divorce papers in his hands right now. He is screwed.
So screwed. These two are and yeah, and it's interesting. I was a little surprised at I mean, I'm a little surprised too that Triple H took back over. I mean, I'm not saying that there wasn't another option, but
It just makes the most sense. Like, who would you put in charge?
exactly. Who would you? And again, we've said on the show, Nick Khan is not that guy. He does
No.
not want to be in
And
charge
from
of
what
the
it
company.
sounds like, he is going to be taking care of the business part of WWE, while Stephanie's going to be focusing on the business.
Right.
You know?
Nick Khan is there to put on huge shows and book stadiums.
Exactly, like the PLEs and all that stuff. Now,
Exactly.
I do want to say this. While it sounds like we are romanticizing Vince McMahon, I guess, which to a degree is going to happen from time to time, doesn't mean he didn't get what he deserved. I'm not gonna sugarcoat it. He's getting what he deserved. He's losing everything he's built.
Right.
You do shady shit. It's gonna catch up to you eventually.
Right. And I think it probably, if he really fought against this, he probably could have just kept going. But I'm assuming H, Steph, Linda, all
Well,
the
from
people.
rumor has it, they haven't been together in years.
Yeah, in
so,
years. But even still, you got to assume that for something this crazy, that they're discussing like
yeah.
maybe it's time. This is your perfect excuse to step back, get off the road every week, just chill out, hang out. Because he's chilling, right? Like he's
Which is
hanging
hard
out.
to imagine Vince McMahon chilling.
The only report I've seen so far since the firing is that he's seen in the weight room every day still at
Makes
WWE
sense.
headquarters, which it's like, okay, so Vince is doing Vince things.
Yeah, and I mean, I can see him like, yes, he's retired, but I can still see him maybe helping out with the transition because let's face it, it's a pretty big damn transition. This is $1 billion company.
Yeah, it is. And honestly, I know we just said Nick Khan. God, it's probably awesome that they brought him in a couple years ago.
Yeah.
I mean, could you imagine this going on without Nick there? I mean, especially with Triple H being gone for the 6 months and then just building his way back in.
Yeah, it would be
And
tough.
Shane gone, Steph was gone. Like,
Yeah,
you
everyone was.
know,
Yeah,
everyone was kind of out. He's really the only catalyst, which is crazy to think
which is really weird
that
because the guy who came from out of nowhere
came
in the
out of
rest
nowhere.
of nowhere. Like I know he's
Right,
somebody.
right. Yeah, so it's interesting. But yeah, so like, yeah, that's where we're at in WWE right now.
Yeah, WWE
Crazy
land,
shit.
and I've pretty much watched every show since Vince left, and you can tell where Triple H is going with it. Like you can definitely feel the wrestling coming back. It's still sports entertainment. Like don't get me wrong, it's still the same visuals and all that stuff, which I never did mind, if I'm being honest. But now the stuff makes sense. They're referencing feuds that wrestlers have had against each other in the past. You actually got that quite a bit at SummerSlam. You're hearing words like wrestler again. You're hearing words like fans again. You can tell that the wrestlers, when they're cutting promos, they're a little more looser. They're not so restricted as they were with Vince McMahon. You can hear the commentary is a great example. They're not shilling out WWE product every 15 seconds anymore. They're actually calling what's in the ring. And
Sure.
Michael Cole hasn't sounded this good to me since he was with Taz.
Yeah, everybody was commenting on how good Cole sounded.
Yeah, because he sounded like a
on
wrestling
SummerSlam.
announcer instead of Vince
Mhm.
McMahon's puppet.
Right.
Yeah, and even
Yeah, I
like
don't.
Graves, like he's normally pretty good, but now he can play that color commentary and talk about what he's supposed to about the wrestling, the psychology, the history, like he's supposed to.
Right.
It's great.
Yeah, I think there's a lot of good things that are coming out of it, but I'm not gonna. There's a few things about H's. I mean, I watched NXT a lot,
Mhm.
big NXT fan, and I know how Triple H books some stuff. And there's a few things that he does that I'm never gonna. Of course, we're wrestling fans. We're never gonna like everything we watch.
Yeah,
I mean,
it's never going to be 100% perfect.
right. So there's a few things that I'm already seeing. Again, I we'll talk about it in a second, but I knew it that Ciampa's going to get a huge push immediately.
Of course.
Triple H likes workhorses and he likes small guys.
And he
And
likes the women wrestlers, which is another thing. Like you could tell he's
that's
putting
not
more
the worst.
focus on this because coming out of Monday Night's Raw, it seems like that's going to be the main focus going forward is Bianca, Alexa Bliss, and Asuka versus this new faction of Bayley, Io Sky, and Dakota Kai, who those two came out and like just surprised everybody at SummerSlam.
I love me some Dakota Kai. Gosh, she is
So
just the best.
I
I am
on
so glad
3.
she is back.
Me too.
Oh, she was one of my saddest firings.
I'm so glad they're both back. But it's funny. I was on Take 3's Rankum when this match happened. I had it on my second monitor. So if you actually want to see my real-time reaction, go back and watch that. I was like,
yeah,
holy shit.
yeah. So excited for Dakota Kai. Well, and with the triple threat, my first thing is because, again, I know H is a huge Mandy Rose fan, too. Toxic Attraction's coming up so quick. Which, if it gets me some Gigi Dolan on my television, my favorite lady in wrestling right now, I'm all about it.
And, like, another positive is the matches had time to breathe on Raw. They really did. It's the first time that I can say since they went to 3 hours, it didn't feel like 3 hours.
Yeah, I saw a lot of people say, I think they said there was like 80-some minutes of wrestling in Raw, which was, uncharacteristic.
Both triple threat matches got a decent amount of time, probably around 15 minutes. The main event got about a good 15, 20 minutes. Bianca and Io got a good chunk. So did Rollins and Montez Ford. Like, they were allowed to breathe and tell a story in the ring. And, well, not obviously the best matches I've ever seen. Like, it was refreshing because everything made everything made sense. Everything felt like it was happening for a reason, which we haven't gotten in. God, the last is good. I want to say a good 10 years, maybe, since we've gotten like WWE feeling like a wrestling company again.
Well, but again, it's not a wrestling company; it's an entertainment company. I've seen people. I had people I follow on Twitter that said they don't like that much wrestling. They watch the weekly television for the entertainment part, and so that's going to be an interesting thing is seeing that, like, of who the normal WWE audience is, which I don't consider us that.
No.
Like the very average, we watch Raw when we want to. We flip through SmackDown on Hulu and buzz through it really quick. what are them people going to think when there's 90 minutes of wrestling on the
That's
show?
well,
I just think that's going to be an interesting. It's going to be an interesting thing.
when I say it felt like a wrestling show again, I should probably clarify. It feels again like WWE's version of a wrestling show, which was what I
Sure.
loved. Like I was going back and watching some stuff like from because new shows that debuted over the weekend, stuff like that. But like that 2002 to 2003, 2004 time, like that's kind of the mixture I like. And I hope that Triple H, like you'll see, like you'll still get your sports entertainment, but you'll see the balance. You'll see it balance it out. That's kind of what I'm hoping for.
Yeah.
We still get to get all that. I just want it more balanced.
Well, and did you see that Raw rating number? Like they pulled like
No,
a
I
two
didn't,
point
but I
three.
did
They
read
pulled
when
a,
it was big.
like a 2.3
Yeah,
for Raw. That pulled like a 1.7 3 weeks ago.
Yeah.
Granted, they were coming off SummerSlam, and that's huge
True.
too. But
there's
still,
also a lot of people who don't watch, like me, but still
Mhm.
follow around. Who are like, okay, this is Triple H's first show. Let's see how he does.
right? Yeah, and it's interesting. And again, I think I thought the Monday night before was really interesting. I thought the fact that Theory had an hour of television time was
Yep.
riveting shit.
Yep.
And so I'm like, I don't know. It'll be interesting. We need a little flip up here. And I'm the first one to admit it. We're probably going to talk about it here shortly, but like, I'm not against all the flipping up because literally I could not be any less excited to see Drew and Roman next month because it just feels so same.
It
Just
does.
is so same old. I feel that worse than Brock and Roman that just did it for the 400th time.
But here's the thing. We're going to be in the U. They're going to be in the UK. So I think the atmosphere is going to add to the match. So it will probably be the same, but it won't feel the same.
I don't disagree. I mean, I get the whole. We'll save it till the end. All right, you started off. We're at SummerSlam.
Hold on. I just realized something. That weekend that Clash of the Castles on is quite the weekend. Not only is it my 35th birthday weekend, but on Saturday, the September 3rd, you got Clash of the Castle. And then on Sunday, September 4th, you have All Out.
Yeah, that was a big shtick when.
Holy shit! That's quite a weekend for me.
Well, good luck.
Yeah.
You gonna survive this?
Oh yeah. Oh, it's a long weekend that weekend, so I got the Monday to recuperate.
You just you know what you gotta do. You just gotta get your fun things ready.
Yep.
And just smoke all day, and you'll have a great time.
That's gonna be Sunday for All Out. Like, I'm not gonna lie, I probably will be able to skip a little bit of Clash of the Castle, but All Out to be the one where I'm okay. This is my actual birthday. I'm sitting here with a plate of wings. Let's go.
I like it. It's a good birthday. Yeah. I'll take it.
Thank you. Before we go into the card from SummerSlam, though, I do want to say, go back and watch if you get a chance. Greg Miller on the panel, on the pre-show panel. For those who are familiar with Greg Miller, he is one of the founders and hosts over at Kind of Funny. He did appear in the Schmodown briefly. He's this big content creator. He's a big wrestling fan. He's friends with people like Xavier Woods and all that stuff. He hosts this new show called This Is Awesome. And he goes on the panel, and you know what, dude? He fits right in. Like, it's seamless. He doesn't feel like an outsider. He feels like he knows how to do this.
Sure.
So he's playing this heel character. It was great. And then of course, Booker T and Jerry Lawler were going in at him, calling him Wolf Blitzer Jr., which made me laugh.
Funny. But
yeah, no, go check out Greg Miller in the pre-show panel. It's only
I'll have to. I have not watched any. I watch almost never the pre-show, so I'll have to maybe check that out.
Yeah, I don't really know either, but there was nothing going on before, so they just threw it on the background. And then, I because I'm a big fan of Greg Miller, it's like, oh, he's going to be on, sweet. So
yeah, I'll have to look that up. That's cool. Yeah, I did not know he was on.
Yeah, and if you get a chance, check out This Is Awesome. It's one of those. It's a clip show basically where they just talk about their favorite SummerSlam memories, and then there's gonna be more coming out. So I'm definitely looking forward to that.
Cool.
Okay, so to start off the card, we had the Raw Women's Championship match. Bianca Belair defeating Becky Lynch by pinfall. Now, Becky Lynch early in this match separated her shoulder, and I don't know, did you see that picture?
Yes, I did.
Ouch.
Yeah, ouch. Yeah, and you can tell too. Like, I mean, they did they did a great job on the fly of using it.
Oh,
like there's so many times in matches where a wrestler gets injured, and it's, I guess what's the good term of like. They avoid it,
Mhm.
But after a few moves, I was really impressed the fact that they used her shoulder injury as like a part of the storyline throughout the match. There was a couple times where Becky sold it harder. Like I'm sure it hurt like a motherfucker.
Well, she said in their promo last night on Raw that it's some of the worst pain she's been in wrestling through a separated
Oh
shoulder.
my god, there was the part where the couple of moves Bianca puts her in like that lock her arms and stuff.
Yep.
You're just like
Ah,
fucker.
yep.
That is so brutal. And
Yep.
but I mean, well, you do what you got to do, and that adrenaline's pumping at the time, so you got to get through it. And she had a huge angle to do, and
Basically to end this one chapter, as it turns out, end this one chapter of her career. While not it's to me not as good as the WrestleMania match, it was still pretty damn good. Great way to kick off the show because it set the tone for me. It set the tone for the show.
Yeah, I wasn't. I don't know. I told you this. My buddy totally kind of called what was going to go on with Becky.
Mhm.
I really have not been into the Becky run right now. I didn't really get behind the whole shtick of this.
Yeah.
So I didn't really get fully invested in this. This is one of the two matches I wasn't fully into of the night. I mean, I love watching Bianca. I think she's just absolutely killer, and I'm excited that she's going to move on, and I'm excited for now what's going to happen, as we talked about earlier, is the Bayley return, which I think we all kind of expected. It seemed good in the timeline.
It was going to happen eventually. Glad it happened here, but what nobody expected was this new stable, Dakota Kai with Dakota Kai and Io Sky.
Yep. Yeah, and I think I like the stable because it's so interesting.
And I don't know if you heard, but Bayley actually pitched this stable last year and was rejected by Vince.
Okay.
So this is a Bayley idea from last year. And then she even picked two others as possible other like replacements. One was Raquel Rodriguez, and I can't remember who the other one was. But yeah, no, this is a holdover Bayley idea.
That's a good idea. I mean, Bayley needed something. She couldn't just come back as Bayley because we saw that heel run by herself for a long time, actually. So throwing Io in there, which I think is great.
Yeah,
I do love the fact that Meltzer tweeted like 3 weeks ago that she was 2 steps out the door, which is fun.
He wasn't the
and then
he wasn't the one. And if I'm being honest, I probably was true.
Okay.
Well,
now she's on SummerSlam, so
right now she's on SummerSlam, but I don't think I think it's because of Triple H. If Vince was still around, I do not think she'd be there. I think she would have left.
Maybe.
I really.
Yeah, I guess we'll find out. But again, I'm thrilled Dakota Kai's back. I know other people aren't as into her as I am, but I am a huge Dakota Kai fan. So I got immediately excited. Even though I was actually shocked at the little the lack of pop she got when she came out compared to Io, but it is what it is.
Well, yeah, I mean, yeah, we got to remember not as many people as you think watch NXT, or at least then back then.
100%, totally.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, it was good. It was a decent opener. I'll take it.
And then I'm just going to transition into the following night. Becky Lynch starts the show with a promo, and what does she do? She ends the big time Bex and comes back as the Man, which she actually choreographed the day before because she changed her Twitter name to the Man.
Oh, did she really?
She did, yeah. But
so
now
so I'll ask you the question. No, go for it. Keep talking.
I was just going to say the Man is back.
Yeah.
I couldn't be happy. It was a great promo to say I'm back soon.
It's okay. I guess that was going to be my question. Was if you were cool with the Man thing coming back or not moving on to something new?
Once she became the Man, she became the Man for me forever. Like that is who Becky Lynch is. That is who I want to see.
Sure.
Don't get me wrong. I her big time Bex. I more enjoyed the outlandish outfits and the way she was playing it up, kind of like not like Seth Rollins, but not really, you know. But no, I'm glad the Man is back because she can spit fire. I mean, she already started on Twitter. I think it was WWE on Fox tweeted out who'd worn better, and it had Roman with the 2 belts and it had Becky with the 2 belts, and she retweeted it saying me because I showed up for work.
Funny.
So it's like, yeah.
Here's the fear I have, and this does happen. And I think of like Daniel Bryan as a perfect example of this. Is So when she was over as the man, I mean, she was over.
Oh yeah.
And like just like Brian, like the yes one, that was over as fuck. And stuff happens, you change. Brian kind of tried to restart the fire, and sure, the fire gets restarted, but can it get back to where it was? And Becky's going to have a huge uphill battle with that, I think, because that is hard. I mean, she was over. I mean, as big of a women's wrestler over as you can get.
I think
So
I think she
it's tough.
can. And again, it's because going to go back. It's because Triple H will probably give her time to help breathe the character. There will be not as much micromanaging as there was in the past. I'm sure Triple H will probably trust her to main event WrestleMania with Ronda next year. So I do think she'll be able to get it back because she'll have the tools at her disposal to make it happen. Whereas if it was the old regime, I don't think so, because that was what came out of SummerSlam was the original Vince plan was to keep her heel. So
I don't know. We're gonna find out. Should be interesting.
Yeah, so probably about 2 months we'll see that. So I'm definitely looking forward to it.
Yeah, it's gonna take. Now, I mean,
I was gonna say now, like we're just gonna flash forward a little bit with Ronda turning heel. Now we're gonna get the match we've probably more than likely gonna get a match we've always wanted in a Mania: heel Ronda versus face Becky.
Well, we've needed heel Ronda since she came back. I have no idea why she's babyface. It makes no sense. She's a natural heel. I know. Right. And again, I do kind of understand. It's kind of like with Logan Paul that we're going to talk about right here. Maybe it's a good transition. Logan Paul's also a heel. But but they're also trying to cash in early on we got Logan Paul.
Right. But also Logan Paul has in his contract that he wants to be a baby, wanted to come in as a baby face.
I know, which is ridiculous.
I know. Well, it's people with egos, man. But I will say this: people were cheering him during the match. People were cheering him. How could you
know why? Because he's a fucking animal. He's unbelievable.
You wouldn't
he's unbelievable.
Yeah, you wouldn't think this is unreal. Match.
He's like after I watched. Okay, so we're obviously getting to Logan Paul and The Miz.
Yeah.
Logan Paul's the greatest celebrity to ever wrestle. There is no one better. Nothing.
Yeah, The Rock doesn't count.
No. There is no one better that went from celebrity, transitioned to wrestling, and did this better. That guy is a machine. The way he was landing backflips, his clotheslines, his DDTs. I mean, obviously the dive off the top to the table. The dude is a stud.
He has it. Who'd have thought Logan
nobody
fucking Paul has it?
And I love it. And I love it.
In the confines into it all. WWE, I'm all for it. I'm telling you, WWE, he can rot in hell.
Yeah. I literally texted a buddy of mine. I'm like, if I was in charge of WWE, he would have a title match next year. Yeah. I'd put him with I would have him, because what did he sign? Like he signed this year, next year. What did he say? 6 to 8 matches or something like that.
Yeah. I could, I think actually would be better. Well, I mean, just as a prelude to see if it could work, give him a decent amount of time in the Rumble. See how that goes.
Yeah, I think he's a perfect guy to put like SummerSlam next year and have him fucking go for the title. Why not? It would be huge.
It would be
huge and believable because look at him.
Yeah, right. Like, it just boggles the mind. And what I love is like, yeah, the Miz lost, but it didn't hurt the Miz one iota.
Because it's the Miz, he's set.
Exactly.
He's in the greatest spot that you could be as a WWE guy. It doesn't matter what he does, who he's with, the program he's in, he works. He's on TV every week. He just helped make Ciampa important.
Yeah.
As Ciampa was floundering around for a little bit. And let's be honest, Maurice is spectacular when she's with the Miz. And she also looked it. She also looked.
Oh mon Dieu.
Yes.
Oh mon Dieu.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, Maurice is Miz is a lucky man. But Maurice she looks amazing. She's great at being a bitchy manager on the outside. Like
Like those two
She's
together.
so charismatic.
Oh.
They're awesome. The Miz is better with her in every
Right.
way. I mean, in every way. So, like,
It's
right
like-
now, I'm in.
You know what? It's the anti-Macho Man Elizabeth, really.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's kind of just like, it reminds me of kind of like, I know the Miz is different, but like Karrion Kross.
Yeah.
Scarlett makes him interesting.
Mhm.
Granted, I think Miz is more interesting than Cross is, but I think, similar things.
They complement each other very, very well. It's true. They're good on their own, but they're great together.
Mm-hmm. I think Miz and Maurice and Ciampa, this thing they got is awesome. And then, Logan Paul being... I was enthralled. This might be... Logan Paul might have been my favorite thing of the show.
The third longest match of the night at 14 minutes and 15 seconds.
And the thing is he's so fluid. And yet he's he's kind of stiff. Like, he lays it. The clothesline he hits on Miz, he takes his fucking head off.
Yeah. No,
and I'm like, this is...
Nobody.
And I like it. But the thing is I like it.
Of course,
I like that frog splash.
He strikes that balance well of a celebrity who's wrestling, but who looks like he knows what he's doing. Like, he strikes it very well.
Mm-hmm. And let's not ignore the fact that he's one of the most famous people for people under the age of 35.
Whether we like it or not.
And yeah, that's who he is.
Yeah.
He's a famous fucking celebrity, and he's going to draw a lot of eyes.
Yeah,
that clip of him leaping off the top through that table is huge on Instagram right now.
Oh, I believe it.
It's everywhere.
I believe it.
Everywhere. So, yeah.
All right. So following
it's great.
that,
it was great. I don't know.
Yeah, no, I agree. It was a good, like I said, I made this test the guy in real life, but in the confines of the WWE, I think he's fantastic.
Yeah. Yeah, I think it's spectacular.
I hope the powers that he can convince him to go heel, though.
He has to. Because right now the people are cheering him. He was against The Miz.
Yeah.
And no offense, the match started and he was not fully cheered.
Well, no, for sure. It's like Rocky and Rocky 4. He earned their respect. Begrudgingly, probably, but he earned the crowd's respect.
Yeah, totally.
Okay,
so it was great.
It was definitely great. So next up, we have the WWE United States title, which based on Monday Night Raw and that United States title video package, they're going to be making these titles important again. Thank Christ. Bobby Lashley defeating Austin Theory in 4 minutes and 45 seconds via submission. It was an okay match. The finish was interesting. He had him in the Gorilla Press and right into the Hurt Lock. It's pretty cool.
Yeah, that was awesome. That was a great... Yeah. I love the fact, again, it goes to the Miz thing. This Theory gets hurt none by this. No. Like, it's so rare to think the guy with the briefcase... You do. The guy with the briefcase that can go for the heavyweight title loses to the United States champion in 4 minutes. Clean. 2 pay-per-views in a row.
Mm-hmm.
Doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. Because Theory is the ultimate slimy, shitty, annoying heel. And it doesn't matter. That's what... Oh, God, I love Theory so much. There's so much about him. I'm so all in on it. I've been all in. I'm dead set on it. I think it's spectacular.
The only thing I can say I honestly don't like is A-Town Downtown. That's just dumb.
Yeah, a little bit.
But I
think it's awesome. And you're getting old, Soda. Getting old. 35. I mean, you're 34 right now. You're a year older than me. You're old.
I know. I am old.
You're just older than me.
I'm not hip to the new stuff.
I know. I don't like... I mean, I don't even go for, like, older chicks because, I mean, even if they're, like, 34, 35, I can't do it, Soda. And my wife's younger than me, so it works.
I was going to say, she's probably younger than you, isn't she? How much younger?
Yeah, that's why. So I can't go after you, like a year or two.
Oh, okay. That's
But so you're out of my range, Soda. You're 34. You're too old for me.
out of your range and out of your country.
That's true. That's true.
Yeah.
We can't even get to each other right now.
No.
But yeah, no, and I also think I agreed though too as a guy who I'm not a big Bobby Lashley guy. I think he's placed perfect right now.
He's over as Rover.
He
no doubt
is
about it.
over right now. I can't believe it. I'm almost a little
I'm
surprised.
not surprised because he's like a Brock Lesnar in a way. Like he's a specimen. He's like a once in a lifetime athlete. Like he's great in the ring. He's got charisma. Now that he's actually comfortable behind the mic, he's a decent promo. Like people want to cheer him, and he's hitting it out of the park right now.
Well, and I was a little nervous when they
Me too.
pretty much were saying that Bobby was going to be the babyface of Raw.
Yeah.
I was like, oh man, I don't know. I mean, but if he can hold it over till Cody gets back, I mean,
I'm here for it. And if we've got the Bianca Bailey stuff counterbalancing it on the women's side, it's going to be a pretty good, decent main event scene.
yeah. And like you said, U.S. titles. I mean, we were talking. I know Gunther wasn't on the show, but Gunther with the IC belt, Bobby with the U.S. title.
Don't be
That's
surprised
nice to see.
Don't be surprised if on SmackDown you get an IC title video package like we did the US title.
I hope so. I think Gunther's been getting some interview time. He's been making the press rounds.
He was just on out of character with Ryan Satin last week, which I haven't listened to, but I heard it was a good interview.
I think he's big in their plans.
For sure.
Even the other day, somebody sent me Raw's. I'm going to be going Raw in October here, and then somebody sent me like the SmackDown thing for wherever it is, and it's like Gunther on the front of it. Like they're using him to promote the show, and I'm like, there you go.
Yeah,
he's going to be big. It's going to be important. So
you think
Gunther versus remember? Do you think you think he beats Roman?
No, you think
I think Drew's going to be. It depends on if Cody's back.
Yeah.
I think the Rumble depends so much on Cody.
Yeah.
Because if Cody's back and healthy, it makes no sense in any capacity to have Cody not come out at 30, pull a John Cena, and win the fucking thing. It would it would make no sense.
I got to remember Vince McMahon's not in charge anymore.
Yeah. I think Cody's still the main guy, but I mean, there's two heavyweight titles. They'll get them split up by then. I could see him going for one at Mania, going for the other one. And I mean, who knows? And it could be Drew. I mean, if Drew does beat Roman,
I could see Gunther.
I could see Gunther dethroning Drew at Mania.
Yeah, and you know what?
I don't think WWE is going to stop doing this long title reign stuff.
If it was a once in a blue moon thing. No, if Drew doesn't win at Clash of the Castle, there's going to be a lot of pissed off Welsh people.
Yeah. Yeah, it's going to be interesting.
Yeah. Okay, so next up,
but Gunther's going to have some sort of match there. But keep going.
Oh, of course, Gunther's going to be in the card. Who he's going to face, I don't know, but yeah,
I think they're kind of teasing him and Nakamura right now. I think is the tease.
Ooh, that would be a hard hitting match.
That'd be fun. Hard hitting, hard style. That'd be good.
So next up, we had a no disqualification tag team match that didn't quite end how I thought it would. The Mysterios defeated the Judgment Day with Rhea Ripley at ringside. Basically, this was not a no DQ match. They still had tags. I think they used a weapon once.
I know, it's so stupid.
Basically,
everything about this segment was
bad. It was a setup for the end.
Set up for Edge,
who returned pretty badass in like a Brood-inspired entrance. Like, holy crap. It was pretty spectacular. Yeah. And then he comes in and he spears, obviously, the Judgment Day, the Mysterios hit their moves, and they win. I thought I was in that thing, they're going to turn Dominic here. Even though I knew Edge was going to return later, I thought they were going to turn Dominic.
I don't know if they can turn Dominic. Dominic looks like a child. He would he looks ridiculous as a baby face.
It's going to be tough, but based on how Raw ended last night on a cliffhanger, yes. where Ripley pushed Dominic into Edge's way and got Edge speared him. So I can see them still going about it by way of Edge.
Ugh, God, I don't know if I want any of this. I'm not even sure.
Don't
Honestly,
be
the only thing that I'm even interested in is what?
don't be surprised if it ends soon.
It's
I'm just-
awful. I mean, Judgment Day is not working.
No, it got off to the right.
I even think
It has potential with the 3 that are in there right now. Unfortunately, it got off to a horrible start. It really did.
it did, and honestly, the only thing that I'm thinking that's interesting, I think Rhea's interesting
Yes.
in the group,
Yeah,
but I
Rhea
don't think Priest and Finn are interesting at all.
Rhea has embraced it. You can tell she's 100% committed because, to me at least, she's never. I've always loved her, but I mean, she's never been more interesting to watch.
Totally, she is interesting to watch right now. Priest and Finn Balor are not.
Mm.
They're just not. I don't think Damian Priest is interesting to watch at all. And I'm not a big Finn Balor guy. I never really have been. So I
think
know.
Finn
Granted,
Balor's
I
been
think
underutilized on the main roster. I'm in that camp for sure. Seeing what he did
I
with
know
his
you
last,
are.
I'm like, it's in him. I think we're going to see
But
that come out.
I mean, you would assume that the upcoming whatever they're planning is Edge versus Demon Finn. I mean, the Demon King, you would think is where they're going.
And then
I
they
mean, that
bring
would
in
only make a little sense.
version of Edge we saw at SummerSlam. That would be pretty damn cool. Make it an Inferno
You
match.
would think so. Something weird, like you would think so. I don't know. And the Mysterios, I mean,
Sorry,
I think I'm
dogs
done.
were-
I think I'm done. Oh, the only cool thing I did love was I loved the Mysterio shirt. They had the Los Mysterio shirt.
Yes, but
Did
it
you
was
see
like
that
it was
instead of the
yeah,
Los
it was in,
Luchadors.
well, I was gonna say it reminded me of Eddie's old shirt.
It was exactly Eddie's old shirt,
Yeah.
but they split it with the. I thought that was clever, and I mean
Mhm.
Dominic shaving his hair like Eddie. I'm like, okay, you look worse. So I don't.
Yeah.
I don't need this. I don't need any of this really. I really don't. It's low interest.
Yeah,
Low interest.
I'm curious to see where it's going if they're gonna end the Judgment Day or if not. Like, I mean, I'm already invested in it. Where to the point where it's like I'm not gonna put my main focus on it, but I'm at least gonna pay attention to what's going on.
I mean, if Edge beats Finn at
That's it.
whatever PLE, that's it.
That's it.
There's nothing left.
No.
So maybe that's their way out.
Maybe, or
I
it could
don't
go longer because I know Edge last night, like he did put them over by saying those 3 pulled a fast one on them, and not many people do. So who knows?
Yeah.
I can still see. I can definitely see them having plans for them now that again Triple H is in charge. I can definitely see them having plans going forward, but not at the Judgment Day. And keep Rhea heel.
Yes, this Rhea needs to stay.
Yeah.
Totally.
Okay, next up we had.
Hang on. Hang on.
Okay.
Just because it might not be in there. Sorry to interrupt. But it might not be on your list because it's not a match, but the MMM segment with Mansoor and Mace with the water.
Yeah. Oh my.
I was dying.
I was laughing myself.
I was openly by myself in a chair laughing at how ludicrous it was and how I loved everything about it. When they started just pouring it, I was like, I'm into it. I'm so into it.
When that's pro wrestling at its cheesiest and working.
It totally worked. I was like, I couldn't believe it. I'm like, this is so stupid that it's actually funny.
And the 2 guys they got to put in there, Mansoor and Masse. They fit the part, oddly enough.
No.
I'm wondering how much inspiration they're drawing from Rick Martel.
I don't know. I love it though.
Me too.
I love it. I am so into it.
I'm looking forward to seeing them actually have a match and see how they incorporate it into there. Yeah, I'm with you. I'm digging it.
And Dupree is awesome.
He's back now. He's like there was word that he got kicked out, which is why his sister Maxine got brought in. But now he's back.
and he's back. And I was like, when I saw him, I'm like, I'm all in on this. I want to see what comes of this. But I mean, watching them two pour water into each other's faces, I was like, I am so sold on everything they do. So I'm in.
Me
I'm
too.
in.
Me too.
All right. Had to bring that up.
Okay, so next up we had the Battle of the Roommates, Pat McAfee versus Happy Corbin. The entrance for this,
Dude, yeah, it was great.
Yeah, with Pat McAfee hiring a choir to sing "Bum Ass Corbin."
I know, it's so stupid. It's
but
so
it
stupid.
fits.
It does
fits.
fit. Yeah.
And then they sang his new theme song, which you can clearly see was inspired by. I'm not a White Stripes guy. Forgive me. What's the name of the song?
Yeah, I'm not either. But
Seven Nation Army. Heavily inspired by that. Pat McAfee is the same as Logan Paul. The dude's got it. Like
he does. And the thing about Pat that I like,
did he wobble a little bit during the match? Yes, but it still worked.
But it's Pat, so it kind of works because Pat's goofy, and it's like the opposite effect. Where I like the fact that Pat is I don't even know what's the good word because I'm not a wrestler, so it sounds weird, but like kind of ugly in the ring. Like I kind of like it. Gotcha. Like I like the fact that he's unpolished and a little like because it fits his jorts wearing goofy attitude of everything.
Unorthodox.
Good way of saying it. Very unorthodox. And it was funny. I watched his show, and he talked about the reason why he was having such troubles is he was not prepared for the humidity in the air, and it made the ropes wet.
I heard that. I heard the ropes were slipping.
Logan Paul mentioned it on his podcast too, that he was not prepared for the humidity. Mm-hmm. And so Pat said when he went to do that one where he wobbles really bad, he goes, This was not ever a rope I ever put my feet on in my entire life. And he's like, I was not prepared for doing this.
Yeah, there was two spots. Luckily, he ended up executing them, and nothing ended up going wrong. But once when he did the leap to the top rope to do to throw Happy off, you could tell he couldn't get up there. He actually landed on his knees.
Yep.
But the other one was when he went and he took
what's he called?
It was a senton.
Yeah, he has the Sentana Bambini.
Yes, no, he did that, but you could tell when he got up the ropes, like he was very unsure of his footing. But then luckily he managed to escape the move. Everything was okay. But
yeah, it was a little rough. So So Pat gets the win, which is good.
Makes sense because feel good. Another guy that's not going to be hurt.
Yep, and he's not. So where is the next step for Corbin? Like, what is it? It can't be this anymore. Like, it's time for a change. You just lost to Pat McAfee. This gimmick has run its course. What is the game here?
Could you go back in time to the Lone Wolf?
Ugh. I think he's past that. I don't see him as that anymore.
I could see him going back to the name Baron Corbin. Totally.
I could see him just because Happy Corbin's kind of who he is.
To a degree, yeah.
To a degree, but like, he's kind of like a classy, I eat meat, drink whiskey, spend a lot of money guy. Based off what the interviews I've seen. I could see him more like taking the Happy thing and like evolving it into like a little more pompous, a little more arrogant kind of thing. I don't know, but this can't be it. And the Lone Wolf thing,
by way of Happy Corbin,
kind of a mix, maybe JBL-ish in there too. I don't know. It just can't be this anymore.
No,
it just can't be. I mean, you lost straight up to Pat McAfee. You're toast.
Yeah, pretty much.
And you're already to the end of this. And
then after this was, I'd say the Money in the Bank one was better. Usos defeating the Street Profits once again for the unified, undisputed WWE Tag Team Championships. This was a pretty good match. I mean, you cannot have a match with these two and not it'd be good, but just
I'm over it. It did, didn't it? I said the same thing. When it ended, I went, I don't know. It just wasn't. It didn't do it. It didn't do it for me. Let's be honest. The last one was killer. Right.
The last one was killer. Ended on a great note. This one, it just didn't have that shine. I don't know if it's because you had Jeff Jarrett in there or what, but just something felt off.
Jarrett in there I did not like it.
Hmm.
I didn't like it. I understood what they were going for, like just because Jarrett's in Tennessee, but why? It would
And
have made more sense.
piss me off, music, please. Let this-
Yeah, Jarrett in there was weird. It just felt like I agree with you. It felt
Yeah.
off. It just didn't feel right.
Right, and
And
now I
like,
don't
and
know if we'll ever see the Street Profits win that title while the Usos are
I mean,
champions.
it's obvious that is not that they are going to be split up soon.
Yeah.
Very soon.
And based on what happened on Raw, man, I wouldn't be surprised if it was actually Montez Ford that goes heel.
Montez Ford. I don't know. I know. I see they're pushing that too, and I think
did you
that's
see that
odd.
segment yesterday?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm surprised because I thought Dawkins would be a great heel. I think Ford turning heel is not a great choice. I think Dawkins as a babyface he's going to be crushed. I think Dawkins as a heel, he's more interesting.
Oh, okay.
I think Dawkins as a babyface, he will go drop to the mid card and he will be irrelevant. That's my fear because I like Angelo Dawkins. I think he's good.
Me too. But yeah, this match was what it was. Only went 13 minutes.
Yeah, it's unfortunate now. So like, okay, so we're assuming Roman is gonna lose. Let's assume. Who beats the Usos becomes the question.
Right now, there's nobody.
Right now, there's nobody.
But we are at the start of a new regime. We have a month. I could see them trying to build a couple teams to be credible threats.
Right. You know, a buddy of mine. So I'm not going to take the idea and make it like sound like it's mine. Had a really good idea of Sammy getting, kicked out of the bloodline because obviously this isn't going to last very long.
No.
Especially after the fact that he wasn't involved in SummerSlam at all. Which,
right? But
I thought, is he injured right now?
He's actually injured. Yeah.
Oh, maybe I didn't know. But I could see him getting kicked out and then him and KO teaming up.
Yeah,
KO Sammy versus the Usos.
Goddamn. And but then having that, if they were to win, that'd be kind of cheap.
It'd be a little cheap, but I could see it being something cool.
Yeah.
I'm not saying they would win. I still think they're. I wouldn't be surprised if Usos hold these till Rumble or Mania. And I think they're going to. I think RK Bro was over as hell. And I think they're going to really hope that they can get them over again.
I think they will.
I think they're waiting for that. I think they're waiting for Orton to come back and Riddle and Orton back together. They sold a ton of merch.
Mm-hmm.
I saw that shirt a ton in the audience.
Oh, yeah. And I saw it at other wrestling shows, too, over the weekend.
I've seen that RK Bro shirt at 420 a lot of places.
It's a great shirt.
Which means it's a great shirt, which means they're popular.
I had somebody who works at the local Safeway here stop me and say, "Dude, love that shirt."
Yeah, it's great. So I don't know. The Usos now are more interesting because I think Roman has now a challenger that we actually think can beat him, in Drew, and I don't think the Usos have anyone.
Nope.
Nope.
The previous regime didn't know what a tag team wrestler was.
Right. And it really only need one tag team match to show anyway, but
two's good too, but more than that.
Yeah.
Okay, next up we had a match that was cut short because Logan Paul versus The Miz went long.
Mm-hmm.
I actually like the finish of this. Singles match for the SmackDown Women's Championship, Liv Morgan defeating Ronda Rousey by pinfall. Now, I like this because you had Ronda lose without really losing.
Yeah.
That's
it was cute. They had to, right?
Yeah.
I mean, there was this was exactly what I assumed would probably happen. Great
catalyst for Ronda to turn heel. It sets up the rematch. It sets it up very well because can Liv actually outlast Ronda Rousey? That type of thing. No, I think it for what it was a good match. Now, so if it's the start of something, great. If it's the end of something, great. But it was a good match.
Yeah, and it'll be interesting to see if now they use the Ronda heel to use that to destroy Liv and get the belt back or not. I mean, it'll be interesting because I don't know. Is Liv the next handful of months? Is she? Is that a thing?
We'll see how she's booked.
I wonder what's next. It'll be interesting to see what.
Natalya probably.
Oh, God.
Because it's true, Natalya has a legit claim though. Natalya has a claim though.
Oh God.
I can see that being. I can see that being a televised one. If I'm being honest.
That sounds horrible.
That's probably, but I won't be surprised if they do because, like I said, if they're focusing on the storytelling. Natalya has a legit gripe. So.
Ugh, I'm so bored by this soda. I can't even talk about it. How little interest I have with all of what you just said.
Let's move on. Hey, God, Canadian pride here.
I know.
To the final match, and what a match this was. For the final, hopefully for the final time, Roman Reigns versus Brock Lesnar in a last man standing match for the undisputed WWE Universal title. This is one of the few times in recent memory where I legit, if I was drinking something, it would have been a spit take with that damn tractor.
Dude, it was, and the thing is like they used the tractor a few times and it worked every time.
Yep.
Like the dumping of Roman out the bucket,
which was fun.
Roman or Brock just driving it in general.
Yeah, jumping out to start the match onto Roman
which was super. Oh, by the way, the mic flip is the coolest.
On both ends.
It's the coolest thing ever.
Yeah, it's like, but we made it awesome when Roman Cotty just winked at Brock.
It was so good. It was so good. It was so good.
Yeah, that's right, man.
I mean, for a feud that's going to go down in history as like a very important feud to this era of WWE, there's a lot of trash in there. But they bookended this feud with a great WrestleMania 2017 match.
Yeah.
And a great SummerSlam.
31 was 25.
Right.
2015. Sorry, you said 2017.
It's 2015. Jesus God, it was that long ago.
Yeah, 34 was they. Well, they.
Oh yeah, it was 7 years. 7 years. I was thinking.
Yeah.
I was thinking 7 years, and I put. That's right. So,
31.
But they have bookended this with two killer matches.
Yeah,
because this was fun. Oh, I know you and I like to bring that up in this show a lot. This was fun.
Yeah, no, it let's just jump right down to the thing. Brock couldn't get it done, so what does he do? Oh, Roman's passed on the ring. He lifts up the corner of the ring 15 feet in the air with the fucking tractor. And Roman just rolls out of the ring, which just cracks me up every time I see it. It's like...
And Roman, it doesn't even sell it goofy. It literally looks like he dumped him.
Yeah.
Like, it works. It's goofy shit that shouldn't work.
Yeah, you can tell he's like, okay, let's lean into it, and it came off genuine.
Yep. I know, it was great.
Paul Heyman screaming at Brock, "What are you doing? This is my meal ticket. Here's the titles." Like,
yes,
that was.
There was great stuff in here.
For sure.
Brock finally getting to drop Paul.
Yeah, and threw a table to boot.
It was great.
I think it was the 4th time at SummerSlam the table had been broken. But
yeah, that was. I will admit, there's a few things about the SummerSlam that were very very Triple H-y, and a couple of them was a lot of dives, a lot of flippies, way more than usual in WWE.
I think that was, but I think from what I'm hearing though, like the wrestlers have a little bit more freedom now.
Yeah, well, so that's the issue. Well, and to me, that's an issue because I even started to notice by the end, I'm like, there's a lot of dives and a lot of flips today, like constant. But and the table breaking was like, this is absurd.
Yeah,
we need to stop.
Yeah, I think it was like there was 4 matches where that happened, but
God, that's horrible. That's horrible. It should never happen more than
tables for, folks.
I know.
But honestly, the way to have Brock. This is another one where they had Brock lose the match, but he doesn't lose anything because of how he was defeated. With all the stuff, plus the Usos, plus Roman Reigns literally on top of him for a 10 count.
Yep.
Yeah, like that's how you do it. And then
I'm sorry.
I was saying that Brock at the end of the match, when everything's over, people are going home. gets into the ring, crawls up to the corner, gets his hat, salutes the crowd, which I don't think I've ever seen Brock Lesnar do.
Mhm.
Yeah, it didn't hurt people one iota because they just realized that it's going to take a lot to stop this man. Like, how
Right.
many times get hit in the head with a belt?
Dude, it was great, and the way Roman like sold it, like you got to stay down,
Yeah,
and
like,
Brock just
come
wouldn't
on.
stay down. Like, yeah, I love that. Where he's just like, God, come on. Do you know the best spot I thought was the front to back super kicks by the Usos onto Brock? That
good.
was awesome, and it
Yeah,
looks like they kill him. I mean, it looks like they just kill him.
Brock's got enough muscle padding. I don't think it really would have hurt him.
I know.
The only thing I will say though, because of what happened with the ring, it did seem like where they were doing the action, it felt a little claustrophobic at times because you had what 6 people there, not
Yeah,
including the cameraman, not including like
and we
it
did,
just,
and we didn't talk about Theory coming in.
right because we all knew he wasn't going to cash in. Like,
We right, right. But again, it adds to it. Theory comes in, he just gets destroyed.
Yeah,
because he's Theory. It makes sense that he would get destroyed. Look at him.
that's true. There's no
Like what an idiot. He's
Roman
going
Brock.
against Roman and Brock.
Yeah, he's no Seth Rollins. No, that is like you nailed it on the head. This was a great way to bookend their feud, and this was a match I probably will go back and watch because you can legit tell Brock's having fun, and when he's having fun, the fans have fun.
Fans have fun.
Yeah.
Brock's having fun. And again, Brock, I am shocked that I said this before. I'm shocked that he lost again, but I thought they booked it well.
Yeah.
Which means whatever's coming next, he ain't losing.
Yeah.
Hopefully it's against Gunther. No big deal.
Well, I was gonna say,
hopefully
it's the question: when do you think we're gonna see him next?
Rumble.
This is an insurance. Do you think the Rumble,
Mm-hmm.
or you think an attraction match at Mania like he used to be?
I personally, I think they should. No, because he did sign a bigger contract this time, so I just don't think he gets all the way to Mania without a match. Well, day one too. That's Nick Khan's baby.
Yeah, he will be.
We forget day one's in the thing, and if day one's going to be the New Year's Day pay per view, and Nick Khan wants to blow it up because that's his thing, Brock will be on that show. Nick needs it.
Just
sell
tickets.
Out of the
title picture. Like, I mean,
well, at this point, he doesn't. It's not even important.
Yeah.
So
like, he's transcended that title. It wouldn't have added anything to him if he won it. Bring back that attraction Brock, but it's going to be this Brock instead. So you're going to probably be selling even more tickets.
Right. Yeah, I think that's probably it. Granted, I do love the fact of. I mean, I like watching Brock on my TV, especially now.
Yeah, because he's having fun.
Because he's having fun. But I do love the fact of, like, if it was me booking, I would literally walk into. I would let him finish up till Mania, and I would literally have him sign like a 5 to 7 year deal, where you wrestle one match, and it's at Mania.
Yeah, make him the new Taker.
Exactly, you're Taker. We're gonna go into every Mania, but we're not gonna like, Taker. It was always like, what storyline? What? Yeah, none of that shit. Just say who, like, the day after the Rumbles on Raw or SmackDown. It's here comes Brock, and he goes, "Who is it? Who's gonna try to fuck with me?
Who's next?
Who's next?" Right. But like, and then that's what you do to get, there's always that guy at Mania that's a big name that kind of just is floundering a little bit. I think that'd be great, but
or if you want to build the next superstar, have him beat Brock at Mania, the man who ended the streak.
Right. Yeah, I don't know, man. It's gonna be interesting to see what happens with Brock now that this Roman thing's over.
Yeah,
the chapter's closed, so there's no more Brock
stars.
Roman. What?
Nope. I said Triple H is he's going to be trying to build more stars, so there's going to be less of a need for someone like Brock to come in and save the day.
Right. So 2 things before we kind of close her up here. So we got to look. So we're done with. So if we're looking at Brock,
yeah,
we're done with Goldberg. We're done with Roman. We're done with Bobby. We're done with Drew.
Mm-hmm.
Where do we go from here?
Where probably would be Gunther.
I think he's the logical choice.
Mm-hmm.
He is the logical choice.
Yeah. He's the.
And
really,
we all know that. What did you say? I'm sorry.
he's really the only choice.
Right now,
The only credible choice, I should say.
that right. I mean, Edge, but they're both baby faces now, so that doesn't really make sense.
Yeah, but that would be tough. Well, I guess Brian did it. I was gonna say that would be tough with Edge's history of neck injuries and how stiff Brock can be.
Right. That's true.
That would be good.
I just don't know.
Yeah.
I mean, obviously, if Brock's not wrestling until day one, which I don't think he's wrestling until day one, I think that's it. I think that's what you got. I really don't think there's another person. And you could build Gunther up for it. If Survivor Series is Gunther versus Bobby, you have Gunther beat Bobby.
Which
doesn't hurt Bobby. It's what should happen. Build new people up here.
Yeah, he's already he's an established name at this point.
Mm-hmm.
So have the upstart beat the established name.
Right. So I know I mentioned earlier, and you didn't really give your full opinion, even though you did, but Drew automatically beats Roman. We are all in agreement with this, or
I'm fine with it yes, because it's just the timing is right because of where they're going to be. It just makes sense. That's going to be a bulldog level moment, no matter how you look at it. That's going to go down in UK wrestling history. The time one of our own won the WWE title at home. Right. Even though, yes, Wales is like 2 countries over, but still, it's in the UK.
Right. And you know what? If there was any doubt going into SummerSlam, Drew coming out, cutting the promo, that was with the fireworks, that pretty much just gave it away.
Which gave me a giggle up until the fireworks part, because it reminded me of the old days where they would do that, bring out somebody, like, for example, WrestleMania 8, when they brought the Road Warriors out when we first got introduced to Rocco. But still, it was like one of those interviews kind of like at a middle pulpit in front of an arena.
Yeah, I thought that was
it was a nice little throwback.
I thought it was good, too. I did. I liked the segment.
And you could tell Drew is starting to bleed himself more into the character. You can tell he's a little bit more loose now. I don't know how much that's because now he doesn't have Vince McMahon on him all the time or something, but you can tell he's got it.
Right. The other interesting thing is are these belts unified? Is this a thing? Is Roman going to lose both to him?
I don't know. Maybe. Because
I don't know.
That's what the previous matches have been, so I wouldn't be surprised.
It doesn't make any sense. So they need to figure that out too.
Yeah, because they pretty much painted themselves into.
I think breaking Roman's 700-day streak or whatever at Clash at the Castle, which is a horrible pay-per-view or PLE name,
because it's not in the castle. God damn it.
Yeah, is a poor choice.
Yeah, but you know why they named it that though? It's because it's in Newcastle.
Yeah, it's in Newcastle. I know, but it's still a dumb name with a bad name.
It's in Cardiff.
It's in Cardiff. Wait a minute. Yeah, it's in Cardiff. Sorry.
Yeah, because I was like, no, it's in Wales, in Cardiff, which is amazing because that's where a lot of the best era of Doctor Who took place.
There you go.
So he's like, yes.
But I just think the fact that one of the belts Roman's had for a couple months, and then the other one he's had for a couple of years. I just think at this premium live event, I just think that's a bad decision to have him lose. Like, I think it'd be great to be like, oh, Roman, Drew won them both, and then fuck with Drew and take the belt that Roman's had for 700 days off of him. I don't know how they do it, but it's something. Yeah. I just think if you're going to do it, why are you doing it here? Do it at Mania. Come on.
Because you're going to get a Mania like pop. Like I said, it's the moment. I
understand. It's the moment, but it's not. Oh,
that's going to be one of the last.
It.
That's going to be one of the last Vince McMahon holdovers. Is that it's just.
It is. It's been planned for. It's been relatively planned for months.
Hero. It's the hometown hero beating the immovable champion.
The second we saw that Cardiff show got a PLE, we were like, "Well, here's Drew's finally getting his belt," because we all know poor Drew got to win his belt in front of no one.
Yeah,
So he finally gets to win his belt in front of everyone that loves him.
And in my opinion, he's earned it.
That's the thing. It is WWE politics a little bit. You do get rewarded.
Right.
I mean, Liv is proof. Liv is literally getting rewarded.
I was going to say, Nikki ASH is even bigger proof last year. She comes up with a gimmick, and a month later, she wins the Money in the Bank, and then the next night, she wins the title.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So, I know, I get it, but we'll see. We will see.
Nah, man. This isn't Vince McMahon.
11-6. I was a big pissed. I mean, it'd be awesome.
Vince McMahon, the hometown person's got to lose in their hometown. This is Triple H going. This is smart.
I mean, again, I think obviously the whole story of Drew winning and stuff is the obvious choice, but God, it would be hilarious to watch fucking Roman win. The reason why is because everybody believes it's not going to happen.
They're going to riot.
And you can't tell me that once in a while it does not feel good for WWE to swerve the shit out of everyone. Because I always love that. I still love the streak moment because I'm like, oh, they got us. They fucking got us. And I'm not going to lie to you, that Cardiff show, they would have everyone.
But here's the thing, though. Unless they've got a killer plan going, it does not make any sense to have Roman retain.
Why? He has the belt for 700 days. He's better than Drew. That's his retaining.
No.
He should not be lose. I would not book him to lose. I'm sorry. I don't care about the story. Roman's the bigger story.
If I'm being honest, if Cody hadn't gotten hurt, it probably wouldn't have happened. Well, but here's the thing, though. For all we know, he's probably only going to go for one belt, too.
See, that's the thing. Sure. That's the big thing we don't know.
Yeah.
If we're still talking both that's a whole different conversation.
Yeah,
but if it's one, totally.
Give Drew the WWE title. Keep the Smack.
Exactly. If that's a plan, which I don't know if that is yet because we're still a month out.
It makes sense.
That would be that's totally okay and no big deal to me. But if it's both and it's the big thing, I think Drew doing it, yes, it's a great moment. It's a great pop moment. But the next day, the next week, I don't know if that's the choice. But
in the old days, it was a lot more likelier that Drew would have lost. But now, I think, while still likely, it's a lot less likely now.
I think you're right. I mean, again, I think the likelihood of Drew losing is low, but I would love it if I would love it if he did. It would just be so interesting to see how everyone would react.
It have to make sense for me to go,
But again, they have to figure out, that is, again, goes back to the USO thing is...
I'm going to come back on this real quick, just because Vince McMahon, over the last God knows how many years, has said WWE would rather create moments, a.k.a. would rather create pops. So,
WWE, I mean, AEW does go for the pop a lot, but...
no shit, at least they got some for most often than not, they at least got the story to back it up.
Dude, okay, Soda. 50,
more often than not, I said.
50-50 on that one. Didn't you just say they had a dumpster match tonight?
Oh, yeah. That was between the Acclaimed and the Ass Boys. That's...
Exactly.
But I'm talking...
That makes sense.
I'm not going to... Punk MJF. MJF Wardlow.
Okay. The MJF Wardlow thing was kind of... was fine. I'm not going to fight AEW moments here. But at the end of the day, though, WWE I mean, personally, I don't think this is saying anything. WWE looks longer term than AEW does. I'm sorry, they do. And yes, the moment and the pop for Drew is a thing, but I just, come Survivor Series or Royal Rumble, I don't know if it's worth it. I just don't.
If he's booked dominant enough, I could see it sustaining.
But why would he be? Roman has been booked unbeatable.
Again, though, but we're assuming that he's going for both titles.
Right. Again, yes. Very much we are assuming he's going for both titles. Yes, 100%.
Right now, it looks like that's the case.
Yeah. Oh, God, I don't know. Well, again, though, as me and you have this discussion every time, when we finish a PLE, we talked about the next one. Because the last time we finished a PLE, me and you kept talking, would they beat Brock again? And now we're already talking about the next one. Can Roman actually beat Drew? Which means they're doing their job. At the end of every PLE, they already have the one question that we want to already watch the next one.
Mhm.
And that's the one thing I'm going to keep pushing about WWE. There's plenty of issues here.
Oh yeah.
But since day one, I have been all in on the big shows.
Yeah. It's never been the matches that have been my issue. It's never been, especially since day one this year.
Yeah, it's been great.
It's been the story of it all.
Yeah. And we're just, and it'll be interesting. I'm excited. It should be fun to see Drew and Roman. It's going to be interesting.
Yeah, exactly. It's going to be fun. These are going to be two hosses that are going to kick the shit out of each other. I won't be surprised if it's going to be like when Sheamus and Drew kick the shit out of each other.
Mm-hmm.
No, this is going to be a good match. Any way you slice it, Drew winning is, like I said, it's going to be a Bulldog level moment. It's going to be. So.
Yeah, that's what it is. So yeah, I'm excited. It should be fun.
Not including Insurrection in them. The last true big pay-per-view was SummerSlam '92.
That's disgusting. That's crazy.
30 years.
That is crazy.
Yeah, think about it. In that time, you've had one UK pay-per-view like that,
Mm-hmm.
and you've had two Canadian WrestleManias.
Yeah, that's surprising. It doesn't happen more often, but I mean, they're getting there. I think that's the plan going forward.
AEW is finally starting to come to Canada. So,
are they crossing the border finally?
Yeah, unfortunately, it's in Toronto, but I say
makes
unfortunately because I'm on the other side of the country.
I was just going to say because you are not close to Toronto.
Yeah, no.
So,
if it was Portland, maybe it'd be more feasible.
Yeah. All right. Well, that's what I got.
Yeah, that's what I got too. So suffice to say, we're both looking forward to what's coming up because that's the beauty. We don't. It's like opening up a new chapter. We don't know what's ahead.
Yeah, I'm excited. Should be fun.
So where can everybody find you, my dude?
You can find me on Twitter at Dustin Dubuque. That's what I do. That's about it. How about you, sir? You're everywhere still.
Yeah. Instagram and Twitter at soda_the_saxman, and you can find me here in the Northern Entertainment Group Wednesday nights for the show, obviously. Thursday nights for Rewind the Tape, where tomorrow night, myself and Ben, we're going to be talking Armageddon, and Ben watched it for the very first time today. Which is like, how? You're my age. How? Because that's a movie that's been a staple of mine since it came out. It's one of the first CDs I've ever owned.
Yeah, dude, there's a lot of people, I'm not a big Armageddon guy, but there's a lot of people in our age range that live and die by that movie.
Yeah, I don't live and die by it, but I love it like a lot of people love Independence Day 4. Independence Day. Why did they call it Independence Day 4?
Well, that'll be fun.
Yeah, and then on Saturday morning, myself, Ben 50 are doing our weekly top 5 show, the Northern Countdown. This week is top 5 moments where TV shows jump the shark. And then also we're taking this is the last week of our hiatus, but coming back next week, myself and Dagan, we're on the Let's Get Red Network. We're rebranding the Dropkicks as now the Blokes of Wrestling. Same type of show, but the name's changed. Different theme song, a really killer theme song. So definitely go check me out over there. So on behalf of myself and Dustin, thank you very much for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Let us know what your thoughts on SummerSlam, how you feel about Triple H taking over. I think it's a great thing. I really do. It's the injection WWE needed. So I'm looking forward to it. Not just because he's my favorite wrestler. So we will see you next week, folks, as we step in between the ropes into the squared slice. So long, everybody, and have yourself